Hey everybody, it's Flyin Ryan here with the review of the JJRC H6D. This is a 5.8 gigahertz FPV version of the H6C, which I reviewed a while ago and was a big fan of, which was a camera version of the F180 that I was a big fan of. So pretty cool to see this come out in a FPV version, kind of competitor for the Hubsan X4 FPV, same sort of micro size and design. This has this nice protective cage on it, which makes it good for practicing FPV. You don't have to worry about crashing or bumping into stuff. Nice and well protected. So pretty cool. I really like the transmitter here. The transmitter is the same from the H12C that I like. So you got this like the rates dial here, where you can dial in exactly the rates you want. So that's pretty cool. And the monitor is just really easy to attach and not need two hands. It just clips into, there's this like front window on the transmitter there, so you can just click it into place. Nice and easy, no problem, ready to go. We do also have a sunshade for it that just clips on there and then springs open, so that's pretty cool. Get that back out of the way. Got a bunch of stuff it comes with. We've got a USB charging cable for the monitor, which has a little charging plug right here on the bottom, so it has its own power source. It doesn't run off the transmitter batteries. We've also got a USB charging cable for the flight battery. We've got a prop removal tool and a full set of props in there. We've got these weird little landing feet pegs here, which I've talked about in previous versions. Like if you pull this frame off, I guess they're intended to plug into there and just give you a little peg to land on. But I found that they didn't stay in place. They would just fall right out. So whatever, those are kind of pointless. It's also got a USB card reader. I think that, yep, that covers everything in there. And it does come with micro SD card here for the camera. Go ahead and take that out. That is just a 2 gigabyte card, so not a big card, but it is a 2 megapixel 720p camera. Go ahead and put that back in there. The battery is a 380 milliamp hour 1S LiPo. There we go. And that takes about an hour to charge. With the guard on, you get about 5-minute and 15-second flights. With the guard off, you get about 5 minutes and 45-second flights, so only about a 30-second difference. And then there's a 20-second LVC warning beyond that. Let's see, cover the buttons on the transmitter. Let's go ahead and take the screen off just to kind of get that out of the way. So like I said, you've got rates here on a dial, so you press that and then you can just dial in whatever rates you want, and then there is, I don't have batteries in there, but there's an LCD here that you can see what your rate is, so that's pretty cool. Let's see, there's only one yaw rate though. The yaw doesn't change, but it's a pretty good yaw. It's a little bit on the slower side, not super fast, but it'll do. Right bumper is flip, so you click that and move the right stick whatever direction you want to flip. Left bumper turns the LEDs on and off, so that's kind of interesting. There are LEDs in the arms. We've got front are blue and the back are red, so that's pretty cool. Standard red in the back, I like that. Let's see. I think, yeah, it said that there's return them home and headless, but I don't, my notes just have a question mark next to it, so I don't know that either I didn't test it or couldn't figure it out. Let's see if the manual says real quick. It may be like press and hold something. Yeah, no, I don't see anything saying how to do it. It's such a pointless mode, I don't put much time or effort into it, but I mean the box says, this CF mode is headless mode and then one press automatic return. So Not really sure. I guess, oh, there's a return button here. I guess that would be your return, and then maybe it's, you press that, and then if you move the right stick, then it turns off return, and then you're just in headless mode, possibly. But then you've got video and picture buttons here on the face to turn on your camera recording or take a picture. Let's see, any other buttons here to cover? If you got to be on 85% or more rates to recalibrate it, and then you hold both sticks down left and wait a second. There's a good delay on it, so hold it there for a while, and then the LEDs will start blinking to show you that you've recalibrated the accelerometer. So yeah, let's go back to the camera. The camera does have a pretty decent downward angle to it. It's kind of hard to get that to show on camera with the black and the frame and everything. But for an FPV quad, you want to be kind of looking forward, or even maybe a little bit angled up, so when you're flying forward. So when it has a downward angle and you're leaning forward, the camera angle is pretty low on this. And it is not a wide angle lens, it's just a normal angle, so not the best for FPV flying. But again, that's like what the the Hubsan X4 FPV has, the same lens, so they're just kind of competing with that. So it's on the same level playing field with that. But I would like to see them start including wide-angle lenses with these FPV quads, like the Estes Proto X FPV. That's got a great wide-angle lens on it. Makes it much better for FPV flying. Yeah, so that covers all the details. So let's go take it for a flight. Alright, this is a flight review of the JJRC H6D with the 5.8 gigahertz FPV camera. And we'll start with just flying, show off how it flies, and maybe try to do some FPV, and then we'll do some onboard footage. So I've reviewed this one a few different ways and times. It's got a few different versions, the H6C and the F180. So I've always been a fan of how it flies. It's a good flying quad, and now they've added an FPV camera to it, so that's pretty cool. And I like the transmitter with the rates dial. I've got it on 80% rates. Looks like it may be a little bit touchy for FPV. Maybe let me dial it down. Alright, 70%. Alright, so let's try some FPV. Hopefully, well, we got traffic coming. Wait for them to get past. Let's do some flips. Nice, tight, fast flips. Alright, now let's do some FPV. And it is, oh man, it's a little hard to do FPV with because it's a narrow angle. Oh my gosh, out on the street. It's a narrow angle lens, and it's got a downward angle to it, so you're kind of looking down from below where you're flying. So I think this is another one of these where it's not really great for FPV flying, but more for kind of getting a real-time view. Oh my gosh, traffic. It's more for like a real-time view of what you're filming, and not really great for actual FPV flying because of the camera angle and not being wide angle. But it is a good flying quad. I really like this model. Alright, so let's go ahead and start some video. It should be filming now, and the screen does show a red countdown, so it shows that it's filming. You can see how long you've been filming for. So I think this is really what it is. You can film, and then you can look at the screen to kind of line up your shot, because you are seeing what you're actually filming. So it's more just kind of a real-time monitor of the screen, of the camera. It does have quite a downward angle. I mean, even up that high, I'm just seeing all ground. It's a little windy out today too, and I kept that protective frame on there, so it's getting pushed around by the wind quite a bit. Oh my gosh, yeah, let's bring it down. The wind is just tossing it around. Let's keep it low and just do some filming while flying. This thing moves, man. I've got it on 70% rates, and it's still pretty quick and sporty. Yeah, I imagine most of this footage is just of the ground, especially when you're flying forward and it's leaning forward and the camera is angling down. You're just seeing all ground. Alright, let's stop the video. Go back to flying. The yaw rate's not super fast, and it doesn't change with any of the rates, so it's not great for like funnels or anything. That's about as good as I've got for a funnel there. Whoa, durability test. Oh, yeah, it looks like I got LVC. The LEDs are blinking, that's why I lost power there. Alright, we'll go ahead and call it quits there. I think I showed everything there is to show anyway. That's the H6D with the the 5.8 gigahertz FPV camera on it. Pretty cool. I've always been a fan of this model, and I think this is a pretty neat option to have. But again, I think it's really more for, you know, just monitoring what you're filming, not actual FPV flying, mostly because of the angle and the wide angle, or the non-wide angle of the camera lens. But pretty cool anyway. Alright, we'll check the video description for price and purchase link. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.